What is up, my colleague friends? Welcome to the video. Thank you for clicking on the link. I appreciate it as always, or unmuting it, whatever platform you happen to be on. So this video, fair warning up front, I am about to totally geek out on you guys on some colleague stuff in this video. So fair warning, we're gonna kind of get into it a little bit in this one. I've honestly actually already tried to film this. This is my third attempt at filming this because there's a lot to get to. The reason why is because this is actually I'm filming this for one of my students actually. So I've got somebody specific in mind. One of my students is at the point where he has learned enough about Kali. He's learned enough of the strikes, enough of the geometry of the footwork, enough about timing and breaking time to where he's really starting to try to figure out, okay, how do I really use this? How do you mix this stuff together? Which that is such an exciting time for I remember that in when I got to that point in my Kali. It's such an exciting time. If you haven't gotten there yet, keep studying. It's awesome. And you know, him and I have been we've been sparring a bit recently. We've been putting the gloves on and trying to get our hits just flowing together a little bit so that he can kind of start learning how to kind of mesh this stuff together, right? So I wanted to put this video together because he asked some really good questions today, and so I wanted to put a video together answering those questions. But then also, this is really going to kind of end up being a instructional video on line play. Is really what this is turning out to be, because essentially what you need to do when you get to a point, what I highly recommend for you, let me put it that way, what I highly recommend for you, once you get to the point in your Kali where you are trying to figure out how this stuff works, you need to start doing line play. And what line play basically is, and that's not my term. I started doing this on my own. Nobody really showed me how to do this, but when I was doing video lessons with Tom, I showed him, hey, I'm doing this thing, writing out the chalk and trying to figure this stuff out. And then he's like, bro, that's called line play. Keep doing that. He's like, yes, do that. And so I've kept doing it. All right. So line play is not my term. You know, Tom is the one that told me that's what this is actually called. Okay. But essentially what you do is you visualize scenarios, and you draw out the geometry of the footwork, and you break it down, and you drill it. You put it into calibration exercises, and you drill it. You turn it into drills. I'm telling you, if you do this, when you flow with people, when you spar with people, it's just the things that flow out of you is just so much more profound. It really is. When you start this, okay, so like I said, I got a lot to get to in this video. You guys, if people want to make it to the end of this one, I don't blame you. Got a lot to get to in this. So when you start developing your line play, you should just work off of trying to figure out how to beat the standard contact drills. So what do I mean by standard contact drills? So your standard contact drilling would be, if I'm bridging on one, I would be stepping left on one, forward triangle on two, and then up right 45 on three, and then back on 0 with my 4, okay? If I'm bridging to the right, I would need to either be in number 2 or number 4. So on my 2, I would go 2, 3, 4, out on 1. If I'm bridging on 3, I would go 3, 4, 1, out on 2. And then bridging on 4, you would go 4, 1, 2, out on 3, right? So what you should start to try to do when you start developing line play is start figuring out how to branch off of those standard drills, right? So when you visualize what your partner is doing, because you need to develop the ability to visualize combat accurately, okay, in order to be able to do this. So you need to visualize what your partner would be doing. So I'm going to use this line here. So if on the standard drill, 1 through 4, always your partner is going up universal. 1, 2, 3, back on 4, right? On 2, it would be 2, 3, 4, back on 1, so on and so forth, right? So when you're putting together your lines that I'm going to show you, I'm going to go through. I've got 2 of them to go through with you guys in this video for demonstrations, okay? When you put your lines down, just visualize that your opponent is just going 1 through 4 and on universal evasion when you start doing this. That is what I would recommend, okay? So let me show you. 1 second.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into like these, start digging into these drills. Before I tell you, let me show you what we're doing before I tell you why we're doing what we're doing. So first up, let me show you the footwork. Okay, so looking at our diagram right here, our map rather, and you'll notice that we've got lines off that way and some yellow lines. Well, those are technically green, but look yellow. Anyway, going up there to there, right? These are the lines that we're going to be using. And these are our 2 different drills that we're going to be doing. And you'll notice that I've used this apex for one drill and that apex for the other drill. When you do this, you can actually put different lines off of all 4 of those apexes and work on 4 different scenarios at once if you want to. I do that sometimes. It's very, very helpful. Okay, so let's look at the footwork first. So the first calibration exercise that we're going to do, we are going to bring the feet together. Excuse me. Feet come together. Then left foot is going to step up left 45. Right foot comes up before you step up forward triangle. Then we're going to re-quarter. This left foot is going to go up the new left 45. And then we're going to step up the new forward triangle and bring this back foot up. Okay? Do that again. A couple more times, and then I'll do it with you guys watching me. So feet come together, left 45, forward triangle, re-quarter, and new forward triangle, bringing the back foot up. One more time. Left 45, forward triangle, re-quarter, forward triangle, making sure the back foot comes up. All right, now with you guys watching me. So it's left 45, forward triangle, re-quarter, and then up the new forward triangle, bringing this back foot up, right? Okay, so now the weapon. Actually, let me do that for you one more time. So it's left 45, forward triangle, re-quarter, new forward triangle, bringing the back foot up. So now, generally what I do is I like to break it up like this. Just work on the footwork part of it, get your angles down, and then work on the hands, what you're doing with the hands. And so let me show you what I'm doing with the weapon here. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and then we're speeding up 4, right? Adjusting time on that 4, and then we're doing 1, 2, and then on 3, we're gonna do a harada. We're gonna do 3, 4, like that. We're doing a harada. And then this comes up to the thrusting position, and we're doing a palm out thrust. Boom, like that. So it's 1, 2, 3, speed up 4, 1, 2, harada, to a thrust. Boom, like that. So 1, 2, 3, speed up. 1, 2, harada to a palm out thrust, or a fatal thrust is also what people refer to that as. One more time. 1, 2, 3, speed up. 4, 1, 2, harada to a thrust. Boom, like that. Now, let's put this together and explain to you why we're speeding up and doing harada and all this stuff, right? So what we're doing, we start off at the apex of the diamond, and we swing 1, 2, 3, and when we speed up that 4 is when we bring our feet together. This is our adjustment step. We've just adjusted time so that we can move into corto, okay? Then I would step left 45, and I would take their hand and then step up step up forward triangle with my 2, right, normally. But let's say that when I adjusted time here, my opponent's visual acuity is good enough to see that, and they made an adjustment with me, and so I wasn't able to get ahead of time, and therefore I couldn't move into corto, and I don't actually have the advantage here, right? And so what I'm going to do is, instead of taking this final step like the standard drill, I'm going to change my tactic. I'm going to re-quarter, and I need to adjust time again to try to hit them, but I'm going to change the tactic that I use to adjust time, change the way that I do it, the method. And so instead of speeding up using speed, I'm going to use body mechanics. So I'm going to use that wrist manipulation of the harada as I step left 45, the new left 45, with my 3 and up forward triangle when I strike this 4. It goes really fast like that. What I did is I just broke time again, putting myself ahead of time. Now I'm using another method of adjusting time, which is using the anatomy of your weapon. So I'm using slash thrust because the tip of my weapon is closer to my opponent, and then I put myself ahead of time, and I can now just bring this back foot up and thrust, doing a fatal thrust there, okay? And so what we're doing is we're trying to get an angle and adjust time. Boom, we can't, right? We weren't able to get ahead of time, and because we're dealing with an educated opponent. And so let me see if this guy knows how to deal with if I adjust time using body mechanics, right? That's kind of what you're doing. Boom, boom, and then I'm adjusting time again immediately, putting myself even further ahead by utilizing slash thrust. Boom, like that. So you see how I'm building these principles together with the line play. I'm building together quartering, I'm measuring out my step, and I'm understanding how to adjust time while I'm re-quartering all of these things to put myself in an advantageous place in combat. This is the type of thing that line play can do for you, okay? So let's go through this again. We go 1, 2, 3, adjust on 4, adjust, boom, like that. That's how it should look when you're going through it. I'll try to go a little bit slower. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, thrust, like that. You should feel and see that time adjustment in all 3 of those locations. So it's 1, 2, 3, adjust time, adjust time, adjust time. Boom, like that. All right, so you're playing with the angles, you're playing with the time adjustment, all that good stuff. So that's the first one I got for you. I got a second one because we were working on contact and contradas today. So this one is we play around with the contradas line a little bit, all right? And so let me show you the footwork real quick.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Okay, so last time we went to the outside line. This time we're gonna go to the inside line. I like to do this. I like to work on both quartering to the outside and quartering to the inside to try to understand kind of how to get the advantage in both of these, right? So first I'm gonna bring my feet together, and then I'm gonna take this right foot and I'm gonna step up right 45 this time, bringing this foot up, and then I'm gonna go up for a triangle, then up the right 45, which now when my feet come together, it becomes 0 degrees. And so instead of going back like I normally would, I'm gonna use my 90-degree line here, step out 90. And the reason this is dotted, I like to do this. A dotted line is just good for me to help me remember that this is a little bit different step. So this is a largo step. I'm just gonna step with my right foot and then come back, okay? So do it again. Feet come together, right 45, forward triangle, right 45, 90, largo step towards my opponent, turning that 45 degrees towards my opponent. One more time. Feet together, right 45, forward triangle, right 45, 90, and largo step towards my opponent. All right, now if you guys watching me. So feet come together, step right 45, forward triangle, right 45, 90, and largo step towards my opponent. Let me do that one more time for you, and then I'll show you what we're doing with the hands. Feet together, right, forward triangle, right, 90, largo step towards your opponent. Now let's look at the hands. All right, so what are we doing with the weapon this time, right? So what we're doing with the weapon this time is we're gonna swing a quick one. This one is really fast. We're attempting to get ahead of time right out the gate with speed, using speed. Then we're gonna do 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna do a reverse angle 2 to a palm down thrust. Boom, like that. Okay? So it's a fast 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse 2 to palm down thrust. Quickly throw the 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse 2, palm down thrust. Do it facing this way. A fast 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse 2, palm down thrust, like that. Okay, so let's put it together into the calibration exercise, and let me tell you exactly what we're doing here. So what we're doing is we're trying to put ourselves ahead of time right at the gate. So we're doing our adjustment step, adjusting time and doing an adjustment step, bringing this foot up so I can step in triangles, right? So now I can step to my triangular footwork, I should say. I can step to my right 45 with my angle 2, stepping up universal with my, that's forward triangle, with my 3, going 4, up the new, this is actually right 45, and then I'm going to take the contradas line here, because they would be coming back at me at this point, right? This is my third beat forward, so let's count that. I swing my fast 1, trying to get ahead of time, and this is 1, 2, 3, so I can't move forward anymore. but I can move 90. And since I'm on one, they're on one, and I know that they're going to come at me with their angle 1, I can take the contradas line here, the basic contradas line where the angle 2 takes the angle 1. So I'm going to step left 90 and swing a reverse angle 2, leaving it in the thrusting position, the palm down, forehand, corto thrusting position, and doing a largo step with a forehand thrust. Ooh, palm down, forehand thrust. Let's do that again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse 2 on 90 to a palm down thrust, okay? And so, let me kind of explain to you what we're doing a little bit deeper here. So we go fast, 2, 3, 4. I wasn't able to get them at any of those, right? And instead of, so normally the way that we learn how to go to the contradas line is you would go broken and to the number 2 line, right? Or you could go circular to the number 2 line. The thing is that if you're fighting an educated opponent, they've developed their visual acuity also, right? And so if you change something, if something looks out of the ordinary from the norm, right? Which would be going broken here instead of the 2, it gives them more time to react and counter your movement, okay? So the reason why I like to go fluid 4 to reverse 2 is nothing looks off until I'm starting my strike and starting to move, which means they've started their strike and started to move, and they're already committed. And so I really like getting to the contrada, the basic contradas line with a fluid 4 to a reverse 2, because it's really sneaky. It's hard to see it. So once again, we're adjusting time, 2, 3, 4. Didn't work. Taking the contradas line. That's the change of tactic, and thrusting. So I changed time, the anatomy of the weapon. Boom. Which is what allowed me to drive forward. You have to be ahead of time if you want to drive, okay? Let me do that. Let me do both of them a couple of times for you. I'm just going to go back and forth as if I were drilling it, okay? So we got 1, 2, 3, speed it up. Boom, like that. And then go to your other line. There we go. Let me try that again. There we go. That's why we practice, right? All right, let's do this one. Let's just go through a couple more times. 2, 3. Boom. And then this one. One more time each. Woo. One more time each. And last one. Boom. Like that. Okay. So that's what I got for you. I know this was a long video, and I got into a lot of stuff in this one. Like I said, I had somebody specific in mind for this. He was asking a lot of these questions. Hopefully these answers a lot of your questions, Derek, and this video helped you out. And hopefully for some of my other online colleague friends out there, hopefully this is something you can use in your own training as well. If any of you happen to be in the Long Beach, Washington area, and you want to come learn some Kali, come on out to my classes. They're free. I teach free community lessons out here in Long Beach, Washington, at the Grange on Tuesdays from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Or at the Long Beach Elementary School in the outdoor basketball court, the covered outdoor basketball court. It rains out here a lot, so that's important. It is covered, I promise. We stay nice and dry. Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. We've got a seminar coming up in August. If you're interested in that, let me know. It's August 17th and 18th. Anyway, thanks for watching all the way to the end, guys. You're amazing. Love you. God bless. Deuces.